Classes start for kids across the country. And while many parents are making that checklist of everything that you need for your kids to do well in the classroom, it's also a good time to make sure they stay as healthy as possible once they're in school. Dr. Siegel, what should we do as parents? I mean, classrooms like a lab rat for germs. They're coming home sick within the first week.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. It's a cesspool for germs, school. So get your kids immunized, number one on the list. Make sure that they have that MMR vaccine before they go to school. Other vaccines like flu, I'm a big fan of, by the way. Make sure all of their vaccine list is updated, hepatitis vaccines. Then make sure your emergency contact numbers go with them to school. Make sure the school knows how to get you. Sorry, they're in school, but you can't get away from them that easily because you want the school nurse to call you if there's a problem. And then next on my list is eyes. I want every kid to have their eye checked because, Eric, you know how many kids out there are squinting at the blackboard, aren't seeing what's being taught to them? Every kid should have their eyes checked. I believe in regular physical examinations with a pediatrician for kids because we want to know what kids are suffering from. What are their restrictions? What can't they do? Can they participate in physical education? Are there medications they're on? The school needs to know about that.
Absolutely. You talk about the MMRs. I mean, Dr. Samadi, some people are against that issue now.
Look, I think the whole myth about the MMR and also all the shocks that we have had in the past, that's already put to rest. I don't think this topic is about kids going to school. You got to make sure that you get all those vaccinations done, get the hearing loss, make sure that the visual test is all done. But also, there are all the things, this is all the doctor's business. Now we get to the stuff that when I grew up, I hated going to school. Summer was fun, and now you have the day of anxiety. And so it's always good to team up with a friend of yours to make the first week a little easy. Also, get rid of those heavy, back that you have
because the kids' backs are getting ruined with these big, heavy, gigantic.
Is there a weight that we should look for? Should they be weighed before they go out?
It should be really less than 20% of your whole body weight. But you know, those books adds up and it gets heavier and puts a lot of pressure on the spine. So you can get one of these roller ones that would help. Also, parents should have a great rapport with the nurses at school. Make sure that the kid, all the information as far as allergies to food, any allergies to latex, if you have any serious problem, disease like asthma or any restriction to physical activity, the nurse should have a good contact with the parents and be aware of this. And then, finally, go ahead.
I just was going to add a couple of more things. Review the school lunch. Review the school lunch with your child. Find out what they're eating. And one more thing is watch out for bullies. And the American Association of Pediatrics, American Academy of Pediatrics says that the best way to handle a bully is to, not back down. I mean, not pick a fight, but just say, what are you doing this for? Stand your ground. Well, do not back down.
The problem, I'm sorry, Mark, the problem with bullying is that, the kids are not going to always open up and talk about this. So you want to look for any kind of behavioral changes. Is the kid not interacting with others? Is he not sleeping well? Is he getting up in the middle of the night? Pay attention to those cues. But most kids are so scared that they may not come home and saying, like, everyone is ganging up on them.
They may not tell you.
That is so important, and it's such a big problem across the country.
Absolutely.
Bullying and school bullying.
Yep.
You don't necessarily think of that on a health checklist, but you bring up a great point on that.
David's point is excellent, which is they may not be telling you, and you may find it in other behavior.
Right,
you want to have good rapport, good relationship with the teachers, with the nurses, and in order for the kid to really have a good school year.
All right.
An important checklist indeed.